I'm very excited to be with you here all, and share my experience with an excitement for Sci Art and crocheting and using crochet in Sci Art and science. My name is Tahani Baakdhah. I'm a stem cell scientist. I work at the UFT and I'm a PhD candidate doing stem cell research. I'm also a science communicator at SciComm Toronto and IMS Magazine and SciBlog Hub. And I started actually this Sci Art project all last year, but it was really an exciting year full of events and full of science and art. So why I'm doing Sci Art anyway? I believe that art is a powerful tool to educate, illustrate complex science using really wonderful, cool models. And with my, I like to use my creation to translate the complex science that I do in the lab to public and to students and to scientists even in any conference that I go. So with my crochet skills and my artistic soul in mind, I turned even my PhD project into Sci Art, and I'm doing research in the morning in the lab using my pipette and building retina using stem cells. While at night I use my hook and my yarn to build retina, but this time not with stem cells, just with a yarn. So this is really something I'm fascinated with, and I like it so much, and I enjoy doing it every single night. And my crochet journey actually started back in 2010 when I first I finished my MD and moved to Canada, actually to Manitoba, where I started my my master's degree in science, and especially in molecular genetics. And at that time, I was really curious about finding something side work that I can do during my master's degree. So I looked up for crochet, and at that time I just joined Instagram, and I was really inspired with a lot of crochet artists that were sharing their wonderful work. And I had 2 kids at that time, and I figured out that I can make toys for them using crochet instead of buying them some toys from the stores. But I had no idea about how to crochet or how even to hold a hook or a yarn. So I was completely self-taught. I went to YouTube. I started to watch a lot of videos and practice every single night until I figured out how to do toys by myself. Once I moved to Toronto, I joined SciComm Toronto, and my friend Eliane, the director of SciComm Toronto, told me, "Hey Tahani, you have really a great, wonderful skills in crochet. Why you don't use them in science?" I said, wow, this is really a great idea. I never thought in using my crochet skills in science. So this was really the start. And she told me about, we have a chance for you to show up people your wonderful skills and join us in Knit a Neuron workshop. And our first Knit a Neuron workshop was in the Market Festival last June. And this was the first time SciComm Toronto bring the Knit a Neuron idea to Toronto. It was established first in the UK by scientist and Dr. Helen Featherstone and Annie Koch. And they started this idea of doing 2 things together. They crochet Neuron, they make a workshop, and at the same time they talk to people about science, discuss with them update in disease or in science field, and they even accept some questions from audience, from workshop attendee, and answer them about any question they have. And this was really the goal. It's doing science and art at the same time. So our first Knit a Neuron workshop was at the Market Festival, and it was really a huge and a great success. We had a lot of people attending this workshop. They learned how to, even some of them they don't have any background about any stitches in crochet or knitting at all. But at the end of that day, they shared us their picture of complete neurons, and they even tagged us on social media, and we were so amazed by by how creative and how these people like got all the skills at one day. So we were excited about this idea, bringing it to Toronto. So we decided to do it for a second time in last September, and Etsy Made in Canada Day. We also told them all the attendees of Etsy show, how to knit and crochet in Neuron, along with Alien as well. And that was really the start for me to complete and to continue my journey in science art. So what I did next was, why not to continue in this path and translate all the cells that I see under the microscope during my PhD research into a complete project. So whatever cell I saw under the microscope, stem cells, retinal cells, brain cells, even brains, I crocheted them all. And I made a complete whole set of my PhD project, and I named it #PhD, Crochet Your PhD. And that was really a good initiative, because I got so many scientists who were sharing me the same passion and posting some pictures from their PhD, and they crochet or knitting things. Like 2 weeks ago, I did a art salon talk as well, and they also demonstrated all my crocheted retinal neurons and stem cell at the Kaffer Center at the U of T, and it's still there. So if you want to have the chance to go and look at it, it's really a wonderful experience for everyone. And I was really excited and motivated to do more in this field. And I got a lot of positive feedback from everyone that they want me to share the pattern of these wonderful cells and stem cells. So I decided to make a book and call it Crochet in Neuroscience, and start with the retina. So I'm really excited to share that I'm already writing the manuscript, and it's almost there. And it's gonna be a unique kind of book, because it's for crochet lover, they're gonna love all the patterns that I wrote. It's really unique. It's not there even on Etsy, so it's something really special. And the other thing is I'm also sharing a scientific information about the retina, about all type of cells in the retina. So it's for anyone in the public who is passionate about science, they can learn about science, about patterns. And for scientists and teacher, even science teacher, they can even use it in education and in illustration of this beautiful retina. And I moved forward, not only crocheting the retina and crocheting neurons in the brain, but also using my crochet to increase the awareness for all kind of medical awarenesses day. For example, cancer awareness, breast cancer, cerebral palsy, even mental health awareness day. I'm sorry. And even diabetes awareness day. So whenever I can and I have time to do it with all my full-time responsibilities, I go and crochet whatever. And then I even moved forward and take these models to the street in Toronto, Soapbox, Toronto, where I took these models to the street and I talked to the kids and families about retina and about vision using these models, and they were really like excited as I do and more about like seeing a wonderful, colorful models, especially kids, that I can even translate these complex science to them. I also moved forward and used these illustrations, my crochet models as science illustration. How stem cell, like I try to explain how I do my research and what I study. So I study the stem cells in the retina, how they divide, how they produce all these kind of retinal cells, and even how normal retina layers look like, how different type of diseases, what type of cells missing in each type of disease, and even take these as MCQ questions to people and to students in schools, just to explain to them how normal retina look like and how how it looks in different diseases. And another outreach, just for all people who like also my stuff and science, is to sell these kind of all my illustrations on Etsy, on Redbubble, on T-shirts, on books, on everything, so people can share and understand what's retina, what's the eye, what's science behind them all, and try to share the love on social media and I really appreciate all the feedback, the positive feedback that I get through social media, either from people who attend my workshops or from people who attend or see my stuff on social media and they share it, they tag it, they even mention myself on these posts. And I'm really happy, especially with those who complete all the pattern and tag me or tag SciComm Toronto afterward. It's really a great experience, and I feel like so proud of them, like attending the workshop, they finish the pattern and they tag us. And even they give it sometimes gift for their friend, for medical scientist friend, and this is really cool. So at the end, I want to acknowledge and I want to thank SciComm Toronto, and I want to thank Ontario Brain Institute and all the knitting organizations that supported our Knit and Neuron workshops. And if you are interested, I have 2 upcoming Sci-Craft events. One of them is at the UFT, where I'm going to share this wonderful Christmas tree Golgi apparatus stuff. And also on December 9th and 10th, I'm going to be at the Etsy Toronto Street Team Market, which is going to be the first sci art market anyway in Toronto. So if you have a scientist on your list and you are figuring out what kind of gift you want to just come to that store, to that shop, pop shop market, and take whatever you want. And at the end, I want to thank everyone who supported my journey and still supporting me. And special thanks to Eliane from SciComm Toronto and from my friends and even my lab friend in the lab for supporting my journey as well. And I'm really happy to have any question later on or right now. Thank you so much.